This tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get started with a lesson that you want to deliver in class. So you pop into sessions, you go to assessments. We always start with a pre-assessment. We pick our learning area. So we'll cover myself and others. It's an opening assessment. We link it into a subject. We might shorten the length of the session that is open. You can add your location there, pop in, and the module's already preset for you. So depending on which year group that you're teaching, you can find for first year all of the modules, and the Wellbeing Coordinator or SPHE Coordinator will have set those up. So we'll pop in here, we'll select that module. You can glance down here, make sure you're comfortable with the topics that you're going to be covering. Each of these elements could take probably about 20 minutes to cover. Some of the topics require more depth. And we're going to pop in here and add our students. So we're just going to add one here, but you add your entire class. And then you create your assessment. You get asked then, do you want a practice program, which is where the learning material is included. So you by default you answer yes to that. That's going up in the cloud. And when you hit the preview assessment, you can see there the various assessment questions that are being posed to the student. If you'd like to have a quick look at how that looks from a student standpoint, we can pop over here. And one of the features we have in Skilly is the ability for you as teacher to kind of also look at it from a student perspective. So that's useful from a mirroring the learning in the classroom. So what you're asking them to do is rate themselves. You might kind of pop down through these questions one by one, explain them, and getting them to start to self-reflect and answer on their rating of the various different questions and submitting that. Now that's gone back to you as teacher in your portal. So you've captured a grab of what it is the student thinks of themselves in relation to those learning topics. So we're going back into our coach view now, and we want to go into sessions. So we've done the assessment, we want to go into the practice program. And here's the linked practice program to the myself and others. So you pop straight down to edit, and you can see myself and others, SPHE. Um, we always by default enforce sequential skills. That means that the students can't run around and learn things at their will, but they follow your pathway. And you can put in a learning outcome for the overall module. This section is fairly easy to navigate, but it shows all of the learning elements. And when you're in the classroom, you can bring this up on the whiteboard and you can navigate the resources that are linked into each strand of learning. There's videos, images there, pop questions. So you can walk them through this material in the classroom and take them to the reflective activity. You might spend a bit of time explaining what your expectations are, and essentially you're asking them to complete their skill diary down below. So we look at that from a student perspective in a moment, but some of the tools that you have here are the ability to swap or add in your own practice recommendations. Um, and that's essentially done by clicking. In this instance, we don't have a second practice activity, but if you did, two would appear to the student and so forth. So fairly easy to navigate. If having looked at some of the resources, you don't want to use them in the classroom, you can shut down the image, you can remove the video. By doing that, you're removing it for your class and your students and the links and so forth. So it's handy to have there. Um, and as you can see, everything is mapped out for you. So you follow the pathway down. That might take you 15, 20 minutes, perhaps more to cover in the classroom. My strengths might take you 20 minutes, half an hour. So aim for one, 1.5 in each class. Two ways to conduct the learning approach. So you can take them into the classroom, go through changes in teenagers, then go and get them to do their reflective activity. So we're popping in now as a student to the learning session that we set up. So we view that. There's our changes in teenagers. And the student has access to the resources as well that you've covered in the classroom. They have to answer this question themselves. And the practice recommendation you've walked them through appears here. And they have to kind of complete their diary entry. They could also add media, by the way, if you direct them to do so. They can save a draft or submit their Skilly, and that's it. You now have a record of their learning in relation to the topic that you brought them through in the classroom. That's it, and look forward to you engaging in the next tutorial.